got to talk about this. Own your toxicity. All right, so boom. So listen, from looking at a post earlier, and then some of the posts that's in the group often, especially when it comes to both men and women, pointing the fingers at each other like, well, y'all do this and y'all do that. And there's no introspection. Like nobody's, or it seems as if, folks aren't really looking at themselves, at how they could be the toxic person that's in these relationships. It's easy for us to just say that our spouse or our girlfriend or our boyfriend, they was the problem, and we never really look at ourselves like, what part did I have in playing, in creating these problems, or fanning the flames and causing the problems to grow even larger. One thing that we all have to come to grips with is everybody has baggage. Everybody has baggage, and everybody brings baggage into a relationship. And a lot of folks think, I dealt with everything from my last relationship. I don't bring no baggage from one relationship to the next relationship. Well, when I talk about baggage, all baggage is not relationship baggage. We all are just the sum total of how we have responded to our life's experiences. So whatever you have experienced in life, whether it be good or whether it be bad, the way you have responded to them has shaped your character, and most importantly, it has shaped your perspective. Whatever you've dealt with, good or bad, however you've responded to it, has shaped the way you view things, has shaped the way you see things in all of your interpersonal relationships, not just your intimate relationships. So if you were dealing with high heights in life, that's going to shape a certain perspective as you get in a relationship. If you had some low levels in life, that's going to affect your perception in your relationship. And when you don't recognize the fact that there has been some things in your life that have shaped you, that may cause you to feel some kind of way about something in your relationship, you're never going to be able to fix the issues, and you're always going to be saying, well, the other person did this and the other person did that, because we haven't taken a proper assessment of our actual lives. We have to take an assessment of our lives. What have I been through in life, and how has what my life's experiences and my responses to my life experiences caused me to view certain things? Now, all of y'all are experts at your own life. It's time for us all to walk through our lives, to see what we've been through, to see exactly how we ended up responding to certain things in our relationship and feeling like the other party was just doing all the wrong. So I'm going to use myself as an example so you can kind of see it, it's like see it in person, so you can kind of look at your own life and be like, all right, well, how does this happen to me? So just to go far back, years ago, I used to be into the streets. So I was a hustler, and I was making a pretty good amount of money. As a young guy, I was driving a Jaguar. Simultaneously, I had a Tahoe. I had a couple of other cars. I lived alone out in the Northeast since the age of like 21 out there. Family members with $1,000, $1,500 mortgages would be hitting me up to, give them the money for it. Because of who I was in the streets, I was taking care of all of my homies. Like everybody ate because of me. So my life experience, and something that I was proud of at the time, and put a pin there, don't understand this, was to be a provider. I provided, and this is not about relationship. This is just life experience. I provided for my family. I provided for my friends. I provided for those who were around me. This is who I was. I was accustomed to having money, and I was accustomed to being the provider from a very young age. Now, as I began to shift my life and get up out of the streets, I wanted to do something else, with my money, and I didn't want to be a drug dealer no more. So I got a building in South Carolina. I opened up a restaurant, and I was down there doing my thing. in like 2007, when all the financial markets and everything crashed, everything fell apart, and I ended up losing my business. And not only did I just lose my business, I lost all of my money. I lost every single dime that I had invested, because I had this hustler's mentality. Like, when things was going wrong, it's like, just stick it out, you know what I'm saying? Just keep pouring more money and keep pouring more money. It's going to turn around. Things didn't turn around. I literally lost everything. So I went from the individual who was used to having money in abundance, used to providing for everybody around me, to now trying to figure out how I'm going to make this money back. But I had already changed my way of thinking, so I was not going back into the streets. So it became a struggle, because I started selling drugs at like 13. So it became a struggle as an adult trying to do things right, to go to work and make a working man's salary. Like, it messes, you know what I'm saying? It messes with your mind, you know, or at least it messed with my mind, because I was accustomed to a certain kind of money. So I'm working. I went back to school. I started working, but then I got so entrenched in community activism that I left my job and just was going 100%. And that's where I'm still at right now. Going 100% fighting for black folks. And ain't a lot of money in that, because you giving most of what you do away for free. But it's cool, because I love my people. I want to build my people up. So I get in a relationship. And now, before I even get into the relationship, I'm already struggling with the fact that I'm not the man I once was. Or I felt like I wasn't the man I once was, because I didn't have any money. So I was used to having the money. I was used to being a provider. And now I enter a relationship with an insecurity that she don't even know about. And then at the time, I did not even know about. I didn't realize how insecure I was about not having money. And as I look back at it, I can see it. But at the time, I didn't realize I went into this relationship toxic. I was the issue. No matter, even though she did some things that might not have been right, I have to own my own toxicity, because I came in this relationship with an insecurity, because I didn't have the money that I was accustomed to. Then we moved in together, and I'm not making that much money, so I mean, I'm contributing, but I ain't contributing the way I would like to contribute. I'm not contributing the way I believe a man is supposed to contribute. You know, she's providing more of the money for the household bills than I am. And since I already have this insecurity from my life, again, not from relationship, but because in my regular life, I was accustomed to being the provider and having money, but that insecurity comes into this relationship. And this is what happens. Whenever she does or says certain things, it pokes at my insecurity. So now, because of how I feel, because I'm already toxic, everything that she says, I take as if she does not look at me as a man. When the fact of the matter was, I wasn't looking at myself as a man, because I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And since I didn't look at myself that way, every time she looked at me, I felt that that's what she was seeing. And that's the paradigm that a lot of folks are dealing with, especially when you're talking about black men and, you know, arguing with other brothers like, nigga, what you looking at? That stems from a place of absent esteem, feeling like I'm nothing. And when another guy looks at me, I feel like you're looking at me like I'm nothing. So I'm trying to protect, you know, my ego enough to at least make you not look at me that way. So I want to argue and I want to fight with you. But that's another story. So in the relationship, me, because of my life's experience and how I have responded to it even before my relationship, now every little thing that she says or every little thing that she does makes me feel like she doesn't view me as less of a man. Now, understand this. There were some things, right, that she actually did that was like that. Like, there was some times that she was definitely wrong and she treated me less than what I should have been treated. But the only reason I magnified it so much was because of me. It wasn't really what she did. It wasn't really what she said. It was all about my own issue. Again, at the time, I couldn't see it, but now I'm able to sit and look back like, all right, even though she may have been wrong here, the only reason I responded the way I responded so negatively, the only reason I magnified it and blew it up and it turned into this big argument was because I was toxic. Now I'm owning my own toxicity. And this is what we all have to do. What has your life experience been? And how have you responded to that life experience? And then how has that shaped your view when you get in relationships? How has that made you feel about what somebody said or what somebody did? Now, this is where it really gets good, or where it really gets deep for us to really look at it. Because a lot of the times we're really only upset about the insecurity. And this is how you know why. When you're upset about something, right, that's not even a universal problem, right? So I can see if somebody cheats on you, of course you're going to get upset. If somebody abuses you physically, mentally, emotionally, of course you get upset. But are there some things that you're getting upset with that really only pertain to your insecurity, that only pertains to you or only pertains to people who have dealt with what you've dealt with? The truth of the matter is, had I not been broke, right, and feeling some kind of way about my brokenness, the things that she may have said, I would have never even noticed. Those things were specific to me and my hurt, specific to me and my insecurity, specific to me and my toxicity. It's not that she just did something that every other man would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you did that. No, it only hurt me because of where I was mentally. The only reason it was magnified because of where I was at mentally. So again, even though there were some instances where some things happened where she was wrong, the only reason things were magnified was because of me. And I can point my finger at her all day long. And I can tell you 100 ways that she hurt me, right? And tell you the 100% truth. It could be 100 different ways that she hurt me. But the question becomes, why were you so hurt about that? That's what we got to begin to ask ourselves. Why am I so hurt about this? Is there something in me that is a trigger, that when somebody says or does something, that it automatically hurts me, not because the person is wrong, not because the person is intentionally trying to hurt me, not because the person is a bad boyfriend or girlfriend, not because the person is intentionally trying to harm me, but because I am responding according to my life's experiences and how I've responded to that the entire time. We have to own that. Now, some of you might be in or have been in horrible relationships. Somebody just treating you horrible. I'm not talking about that. But we have to be honest with ourselves, with our own shit. We have to be honest with ourselves and look back over your life. And that's why I took the time to talk about me. Talk about who I was from 13, who I was at 21, 24, what I went through, because all of that played a role in how I viewed things once I got into a relationship at 31, 32, however old I was, I don't know. All of that played a role in it. And if it wasn't for those things, some things she said or some things she did would not have been an issue to me. And the only reason that they were an issue to me was because I brought some toxic feelings into the relationship. And now I'm man enough to own my own toxicity. And so I came into the group tonight to talk about that. So some of you can look at your life and see what your experiences have been, how you've responded to those experiences, how your response has shaped your character, and how that has shaped your perception and your view of things in all of your interpersonal relationships. Because the truth be told, there are some things that you might deal with in your relationship that even if one of your friends may have said would have triggered you, because it's not about the person, it's about you being triggered. It's about the trigger. So own your toxicity. Let's stop making all of these posts pointing the finger at the other sex, because we do a great job of that in this group. We do a great job of men this, women this, men this, women that. But what about me? What am I? What am I? What have I historically done? How have I historically thought about things? And am I triggered by something that somebody is doing? I can't even say toxicity, but you can spell it. Am I tripping out because it's some stuff I just did not overcome before I came in a relationship? And I would have had this issue with anybody else, because my girlfriend at the time did not make me feel less of a man. Even though I felt that way in the relationship, I felt like she did not see me as a man, and things she was saying and doing was making me feel like I was less than a man. But when I step away from the relationship and look back at life, I can realize way before I met her, I already felt less of a man because of my highs in life and where I wasn't at the time. And I have to own that toxicity. Moving forward in relationships, I got to deal with that. I got to make sure I'm feeling good about me and where I am. That way I don't project on her every time she says a certain thing that she's saying that because she doesn't see me as a man. I don't know what your issues are. I don't know what your life's experience are. I don't know what your problems and relationships have been. But I do know we all bring baggage from our life experience. Again, we are all the sum total of our life's experiences and how we've responded to them. And that response has shaped your character, and that has shaped your perception and your view of things, and how you feel about what people say and do in all of your interpersonal relationships. And I'm just saying, own your toxicity. And still remember, because this is not saying that your partner did not do anything wrong. I can tell you, I feel like there was some things I was definitely wronged in some areas, but my response to it still on me. Only thing I can control is my response. And why things cut me so bad is because of how I already felt, because I was toxic. So your partner could be doing something that's not right, but you still have to ask yourself, why does this bother me so much? Why does this make me feel this way?